Can you hear me all right? Can everyone hear? Put in the chat if you can hear me. Can you hear me correctly? Is everyone, can you hear me? Yup. Yup. Nope. Can you log on just to see if you can hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Cool. Right. So, into today, we blast. Breathe. Today, I'm making a controller stand. So this is the start of it. So if you can hear that whirring in the background, that's the forge blower going. So this is the start of it. There's like a hook on the side where the controller sits in, and then these two prongs going up the side is the stabilizers to keep the controller from moving about. I'm going to go and put the bit of steel back in the fire, and then we're going to push this side in a bit more. What are we on now? Still one person. Right, so you just saw me. I've just hooked over that end where the controller is going to sit. It's going to sit. Let me use this. This is just a bit of metal as the controller for the second. It's going to sit in there like that. And then these two tines up here are going to bend over the back like that, so the controller can sit in there like so. Let me just go put this bit of metal in the fire, and we can carry on forging these two ends. Yep. Right, so the bit of metal is in the fire now. Now, after I've made this controller stand, if there's anything you guys want me to make now or maybe in a later episode, just put it in the comments and we can see if we can do it. Right, so that's that done. Let me go cool it down and I can pick it up and show you what it's going to look like. Right, so here is the here is the start of the controller stand. So the controller is going to sit in here like that. And these two tines at the back are going to go over and round, over and down like that. So then you can put this on your table or next to your controller, next to your monitor or station or whatever, and then you can sit in the controller so you don't lose it. Now I'm going to put it back into the forge and cut this end with a hot cut so they're the same length, and then bend them back. Right, if there's anything you guys want me to make once this is finished, just put it in the comments and I'll see if I can do it. If there's any questions you have about how I'm making this or why I'm making it, you can put that in the comments as well. Right, that's that cut off. That's that cut off. Now we're going to spread them out and then bend them back. So if you have any questions on how I'm making this, or if you want me to make something else or say something, then just put that in the comments, and I can read it out. Or yeah. So once this bit of metal comes out the forge, we're going to bend them out a bit like that, and then they're going to come around the back. Right, so that's that first part done. I'm just going to leave that to cool down. I'm going to turn off the forge, and I've just got to go get the charger for my phone. So I've just got to go get the charger for my laptop. But if you have any questions about how I'm making this, or if you want me to make something else, just leave that in the comments. Right, so I'm back. Whew. I'm gonna carry on making this controller stand. So what's going to happen now is these two tines going out the side have got to bend back, so it can sit down on a table. So these are going in the forge. I'm probably going to bend them individually instead of two at a time, because that will mess up the evenness of the bend. Right, if you've got any questions on how I'm making this, or you want me to make something else in the future, then just leave that in the comments, and I'll see if I can do it. I'm going to turn the forge blower on now, so if you can hear a whirring noise in the background, that's what that is. So if you're just joining me, I'm making a controller stand, and then after that, if you want to see me make something else, just put that in the comments. But after that, I'm making a nail header, which is the tool you use for putting the heads on nails. Right. So that's that side done. Now I'm going to move on. That's that side done. Now I'm going to move on and do that side. Right, so that's the main forging done on the controller stand. I'm just going to put a bit of metal in there to show you what it would look like. So that'll be the controller. They're just sitting there. But I'm going to just finish off some light work. and then we can start on the nail header. If there's anything else you guys want me to see me make, just put that in the comments. Or if you want to see me do something in particular or make something in particular, just leave that in the comments as well. So if you're just joining me, I'm making a controller stand. This is be for a PS5 or Xbox or whatever you want. And the bit of metal is just in the fire as we're talking. But if there's anything else you want to see me make in the future or on this live, then just put that in the comments. So I've pretty much finished the rough forging on this controller stand. I'm just finishing off the last little bits. Right, that is the controller done. Let me just cool it down and I can show you how it works. Right, so I'm going to use my Hotcut Hardy just to show you how it works. So this will be the controller just for a second. So it slots down in there like that. And it will sit up like this. You have a space at the bottom for the charging port. That's pretty much it. All I need to do now is wire wheel it, put some clear lacquer on it, and that's that done. So before I start making the nail header, if there's anything you guys want to see me to make, just put that in the comments. Yeah, so I'll start on the nail header then. Just pop this to the side. So I'm going to make the nail header out of some of this 12 mil, no, 6 mil, 5 mil, I'll get there eventually, 5 mil by 24 mil flat stock. I'm just going to get my Hotcut Hardy out. Where's that gone? Here it is. And start cutting this up. Actually, I'm going to use a, how do you finish your work? That's a good one. Well, normally I would paint it or maybe some clear lacquer like this stuff. This clear lacquer works really well. Or you could use beeswax, you could use paints, you could galvanize it, you could what's it called? Yeah, you spray paint it, hand paint it, whatever. Boiled linseed oil works quite well. Right, so wherever that mark was, that's where the mark is. I'm going to go into my workshop and just cut that off. I'll be back at a tickety boo. Right, so that's the bit of metal cut. Now I'm going to put it in the forge, and then start on the forging the area for where the nail goes in. If there's anything you guys want to see me to make, just leave it in the comments. Yeah, and I'll make it. If it's a big project, I might do it in another video. But small things, maybe like this coat hook, which I started forging at the beginning of this episode, or maybe S hooks, bottle openers, anything like that. If you want to see me make it, just leave it in the comments. You can see it being forged live. Or if there's a big project, then you can always, you can always just tell it to me now, or leave it in the comments of another video, and then I'll see if I can make it. Right, what are we at? We're at 27 minutes, and I've made not much. So let's get forging. Right, I'm going to use a square punch. No, first I'm going to center punch it where the hole should be, just so I know it should be there, and then I'm going to drift that hole, make sure it's sitting flat. Just do some decorative work around the outside, get rid of that chamfer. No, put in a chamfer. Yeah, get there eventually. What are we on? Oh, one guy. That's all right. If you guys want to see me make anything in particular, just leave it in the comments. Or if you've got any questions about how I'm making this stuff, just put that in the comments as well. Right, I'm going to leave this to cool down for a second and say something. So one of the great things about blacksmithing is you're one of the only professions that get to make their own tools. So in spite of that, move that off there. In spite of that, I'm just gonna make a new chisel just real quick. What we at? 1 person. Right. I'm gonna just quench this real quick, and then we can finish off making the. Right, and now I'm gonna anneal it, which means scrubbing off all of the excess, and then dunking it again. Right, now we've got a chisel that we can use to finish off making our nail header. So this bit of metal can go back in the forge. If you have any questions about anything I'm doing, just leave them in the comments. So if you're just joining us, we made a controller holder in the last few minutes, and now we're making a what's it called? Now we're making a nail header. So, as I stated a few minutes ago, one of the best things about blacksmithing is that you get to make your own tools. So, I needed a certain tool for making this nail header. I needed a certain size punch, so I just made it. And this is going to help me to get the right size hole in the bit of stock, and especially because it's such a thin bit of metal, I can see where the tip of the stock is. So where I can see where the hole is going. Let's put this back in the forge. If you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments. It could be how I'm making it or whatever. Just leave it in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Right, so if you notice that I'm repetitively cooling this down or heat treating it, that's because this is mild steel, so it's the completely wrong type of steel for the job, but it's all I've got, so it's all I'm going to use. What are we on? 3 people. So if you're just joining us, I've just finished making this controller holder, and now I'm making a nail header. So using the tools that I made to make items I need is one of the great gifts of blacksmithing, because it means I have full freedom and a range of different abilities. So that's the hole pretty much punched. That's the hole pretty much punched. It's very hot. I'm just going to drift it. So using the punch, I'm going to put it through the hole and just make the hole wider. If you're wondering what type of coal I'm using Forge Breathe anthracite coal, which is a small blacksmithing coal, which is designed for this purpose. And this is being used in a coal forge, which I made by myself. They're relatively easy to make, and if you want to see me making one, just leave that in the comments, and I can do that. Right, now we're pretty much done with the hole. We just got to assess it and see if it would work for a nail. I think that will. So let's cool it down and then work on the handle portion. Right, so now I'm going to turn it round in the forge and start work on this end. Right, so if you're just joining us, I've made this controller holder. And then now I'm moving on to making a nail header, which is the tool you use to make the heads of nails. Yeah, so it's the bit of metal's in the forge as we speak. Now I'm taking it out to work on the handle portion, because a minute ago I just punched the hole in the other end. So I'm thinking for this nail header, I'm going to do on the end of it, I'm going to have a loop with a backwards. So the loop comes round, and then the scroll goes the opposite way. Then it comes down, and then you've got the hole, obviously, for making the head of the nail. Right. So now I'm going to make a half on, half off taper. Get all the scale off. So, oh, by the way, scale is this stuff. Comes off from the metal when it's hot. So I'm going to do a half on, half off taper, and then stretch that out. Can't remember the word. Stretch it out. Forge it out to a thin strip, and then curl it back on itself. All right. So it's cooled down quite a lot now. Now we're just going to put it back in the forge. So if you want to see me make something else, like a nail header, no, I'm making a nail header. If you want to see me make something else, then just pop that in the comments. I'll see if I can do it. If it's too big of an operation, I might make it in a different episode. That's it starting to get thinned down. Now we're going to put it back in the forge to carry on doing that. So if you're just joining me, which no one has, so I'm not going to say that. It's almost like I've got a script now. Every time someone comes on, I say, you're just joining me, I've done this, this, and this, and this, and I'm making this, and if you want to say something, I'm doing this, or whatever. Right, the handle is getting a bit hot now, so I'm just going to cool that down. Right, that's that part forged. Now I'm going to bend it that way and then curve it round, and that'll be the handle of the nail header. It's the best thing in nature. Sinking souls and resurrections. Oh, what botheration, no consideration. And is the complexion like Pacini boys? Right, so I've almost finished the nail header. So, so if you want to see me make anything else, after this, I'm gonna make some nails. If you want to see me make anything else, how would you say best way to get into blacksmithing? Let me just answer that in a minute. I'm just gonna finish forging this nail header. Right, that's the handle done. Let me quench this and then I'll answer your question. Right, so that's that finished. Now for some Q&A, let me turn the forge blower off and see if you got any questions. Right. Swipe this down. Let's see. Alfred Hyde says, how would you say is the best way to get into blacksmithing? Probably best way to get into blacksmithing. Well, I started with a charcoal or wood forge, which is easy to make with a couple of bricks, and then any kind of blower. You can make a box bellows or hair dryer would even work, or an air compressor. Although I might not use the air compressor, but you would get something like, wait a second. for your first anvil, you can use something like this, which is a just a head of a sledgehammer. That works quite well because you've got some nice radius. You've got flat spots. Sometimes you always get a hole in the middle, but you can bend stuff in there. That works really well for a beginner anvil. Oh God. Some of the first tools you need to get or need to make is a nice pair of tongs. These are really easy to make. You just Google how to forge twisted tongs. I might even make a video on making them. And then crucial to blacksmithing is 2 tools, a punch and a chisel. And then you can change those tools slightly to make a hot cut, which goes in the hardy, so you can cut stuff that's hot. And you got small punches like this one, big punches like this one. You can buy punches. But basically, all you need is a source of heat, you need an anvil or something to hit on. You need tools to work with. Well, when you get better, you need tools to work with, and then you need tools to work with, and then you need a heat source. So that can be from a coal forge. You can even use a charcoal. You can use wood. You can even use a barbecue that you line with bricks or line with clay or something. But you just need that heat source to be strong enough to retain heat, so you're not losing any. And you need that heat source to be hot enough to at least forge thin material. Yeah. Right, let's get on to forging some nails. So let me just show you what I finished making. Where did I put it? So I just finished making this nail header. So it's got a square hole in the top, like that. And then the handle. And then before that, I made this... Xbox controller stand. So this is just standing in for the controller, but it slots in there, and then you've got a hole at the bottom so you can plug it in. But yeah, so now I'm gonna make nails. Hopefully I'm gonna get at least maybe 10, maybe 20 if I can. But yeah, so I'm gonna start forging some nails. I'm gonna turn the forge blower on, the bellows, so it might be a bit noisy. But yeah, if you've got any other questions like that one, that was a really good question. If you've got any other ones like that, then just ask away. Right, so the stock type I'm using is 8mm square. And if you're just getting started blacksmithing, this is a great project, because the repetition of that taper, and then drawing out the taper, and then cutting it off, putting it in a hole, and you get all these techniques that you build up by making it. So I've got the metal in the forge. That's just heating up. If you've got any other questions, just pop them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. So this is the first nail of the day. Let's give it a go. Let's just see how it fits in the hole. That's pretty good. Let's get a bit more drawn out on there. Let's go in for our second heat. So a heat is every time it comes out of the forge. It goes, yeah, that's a heat. So if I just put it back in the forge and then take it out, do some more forging and put it back in, that's a heat. So it's every time that the bit of metal comes out the forge. What are we on? 2 people. Cool. So if you guys got any questions, then feel free to answer them. No, ask them, and I'll answer them. Get there eventually. We're getting there. Right, we're there. Let's cut it off. Get the hot cut hardy out. Let's put this back into a forge just to heat it up enough so we can get that portion there hot. What are we on? 2 people. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. Right, let's put this back in and see if we can revive this, because this one is not worked the best, shall we say. So if any of you guys have got any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. So I'm making nails To be truthful, it's not going particularly well. Yeah. To be fair, it's just like pancakes. The first one never goes well. Second one, that's all right. And then you get the hang of it. And then by the time you're finished, there we go. And then by the time you're finished, you've got a perfect pancake. And in this case, a nail, but we'll run with it. Right, let's put this back in the forge just to heat up this this end here so we can smash it down a bit. What are we on? 3 people. That's pretty cool. If you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Yeah. If you're liking this sort of content, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can like certain videos. Now, you may notice I like the heads of my nails rather big. And now I'm going to move over to a ball peen hammer to put in that rose head effect. And that is our first nail done. Let me cool that down and then I can show you. So that's the nail that we made just a minute ago. So that's our head. That's the main body of the nail. If you've got any questions on how it was made, don't ask them, because in a minute I'm going to make another one. Let's get our stock back in the fire. Let's make another one. Three people. Cool. So if you've just joining me, I'm making some nails. I'm hoping for a total of about 10, if I can. Where did that nail go? I'm going to get a pot to put them all in so I don't lose them. Yeah, I may have lost honors here. I'm going to go get a pot. Right, here's our pot. Put it down there so I know that's nail number 1. Let's see if we can make some more nails. Alfred Hyde asks, how long are you going to be on for? Till what time? I'm not honestly sure. I'm going to just plow through, make some more nails. I'm going to switch to a heavier hammer so it makes some more movement. And I'm also going to get rid of some stuff on the table because it's making a bit of noise. So I was using a 2.5 pound hammer. Now I'm going to move to a 4 pound hammer to really get some movement. These nails are going to be by no means consistent or by no means pretty. but they're going to work. Let's put this back in the forge. Just check for size. We've got a little while to go. This one's going to be a very long one. Not by any intention, it's just a bit too long. Right, let's cut it off. This one's a very long nail. I did not mean it to be this long. Hold up on the tongs up here. If you've got any questions on how I'm making any of this stuff, just leave it in the comments. Let's try and make it not this big next time, because this is quite a big nail. Let's pop this back in the forge. If you've got any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll be more than willing to answer them. If you want to look at the last nail, it's this one. This is a bit of a dodgy nail. Doesn't look that good, but it'll hold something in, I'm sure. Cool, that's nail number 2. As you can see, it's not the prettiest of nails, but it will work. Let's work on nail number 3. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments. Tom Brown asks, how many nails are you trying for today? That is a very, very good question. I'm going to attempt, well, I've made 2 already, which is, progress. I'm going to attempt for maybe 50. Alex Steele, famous blacksmith on YouTube, he made, I think it was about 500 in his live stream. I'm not going to make that much. Right, yeah, but I'm aiming for maybe 50, just to make it, look like I've actually tried. I melted it. I've got to chop that bit off now because I melted it and it's all gone completely higgledy-piggledy. I've switched to a hand crank blower. Why is not so not particularly any reason for it. I just switched to a hand crank blower. So I'm going to be over there, over there, making. No, not making. I'll be over there cranking the blower. So I may not be able to speak. But yeah. I'm just gonna fix my forge blower, so I might be a couple of minutes before I make another nail. But it's in the fire heating up.
Catherine's left.
She was on.
Yeah. I'm gonna comment. Are you muted? Are you muted?
No.
Right.
All right, there we go. Cool. Thanks for that. I'll try and do that. But yeah, that's the blower fixed. Now I can start wrapping out some nails. I just pulled out a clinker from my coal forge. Let me just show it to you. Look at the size of that. Right, let's cut that off. Right, that's that heated up. Let's put it in the header. Like so. I might need a bit more heat. Oh god, I dropped the thing. Let's just straighten it out first. And then we're going to put it back in the forge just to get a bit more heat so we can finish the head. Well, that's nail number 3. That's nail number 3. Focus. There we go. So that's the head. And then that's the body. Let's see if we can make some more nails. I'm aiming for about 10, maybe 20 nails by the end of the day. The time is 3:41. So let's get forging. I am using Coke. So bag Coke from, I think it's called Forged Breeze. Maybe I'll go get a bag. this is what I'm using. Oh god. So this is Forge Breeze blacksmithing coal. This works great. I started off with using lump charcoal. No, I started off using wood, then I moved to charcoal, and now I got now I work with coal, coke, because it's just a lot hotter. You get nice isolated heat. Nearly lost all my nails then. I say all my nails, 3 of them. Yeah. So I'm gonna carry on forging that. Tom Brown, are you a blacksmith? Do you do blacksmithing? Tom Brown? You a blacksmith? Because it sounds like you know a lot. You're certainly asking the right questions, at least. That's fine. Go on. So what about you? Whereabouts are you based then? Have you got a business or do you work for someone else? That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I am 14. I know. And I started forging when I was 9. So that's 3 years. No. Yes. 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Well, no. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 10 years. No. 5. Get there eventually. Pretty cool. I'm not quite getting to the old one heat nail quite yet. That's nail number 4. Oh man. You've got to be kidding me. Nail just broke. It was a cold shot and it just broke. See if we can make some more. Yep, I always hammer it while it was cold and then it snapped. It's bound to happen anyway. Right, I'm going to start a production line. So yeah. That's nail number 6. No, 2, 4, 5. Nail number 5. Let's get a new bit of stock in the fire. I might try and use a thinner bit of stock and see if it'll work better because it'll heat up quicker. Hello, Sonny. Oh, blums. Bums, 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 bums. We've got a problem. But that's hot. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, so small problem. The nail header just broke. Somehow the it just cracked. Just cracked on me. So unless I figure out another way of how could I do this? Suppose I could do it in a vise. Could just make a new one. Think I might do that. Next time I've got to make sure this is cooled down every time. Let me go cut this off. That's clever. That is, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I might do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Don't need this bit of metal anymore. That makes a lot of sense. That makes, yeah.